We sadness to announce that Barry Nelson was an American actor passes away in April 7, 2007. Barry Nelson, born Robert Harkin Nielsen April 16, 1917, was an American actor, noted as the first actor to portray Ian Fleming's secret agent James Bond. We are all very upset. He was a legendary actor, but he was also an extremely nice person. Unquote. For complete information, please watch the video till the end and share. Like Nelson was born in San Francisco, the son of Norwegian immigrants, Betsy née Christopher Sen and Trygd Nielsen. His year of birth has been subject to some debate, but is listed as 1917 on both his 1943 Army Air Forces enlistment record and his 1993 voter registration records. He graduated from UC Berkeley in 1941, where he performed as an actor in student theater productions. With MGM, Nelson made his screen debut in the role as Paul Clark in Shadow of the Thin Man, 1941, starring William Powell and Myrna Loy, with Donna Reed. He followed that with his role as Lou Rankin in the film noir Johnny Eager, 1942, starring Robert Taylor and Lana Turner. During his service in the United States Army Air Forces during World War II, Nelson debuted on the Broadway stage in Moss Hart's play Winged Victory, 1943, in the role of Bobby Grills. His next Broadway appearance was as Peter Sloan, playwright, in Hart's Light Up the Sky, 1948. He appeared on Broadway with Barbara Bel Geddes in the original Broadway production of The Moon is Blue. During the play's run, he also starred in a CBS half-hour drama called The Hunter, premiering in July 1952. He played Bart Adams, a wealthy young American whose business activities involved him in a series of adventures. He also appeared with Lauren Bacall in the Abe Burrows comedy Cactus Flower in 1965 and with Dorothy Loudon in The Fig Leaves Are Falling in 1969. Nelson performed another Broadway role, that of Gus Hammer in The Rat Race, 1949. He was the first actor to play James Bond on screen in a 1954 adaptation of Ian Fleming's novel Casino Royale on the television anthology series Climax, preceding Sean Connery's interpretation in Dr. No by 8 years. Reportedly, this was considered a pilot for a possible James Bond television series, though it is not known if Nelson intended to continue playing the character. Nelson played James Bond as an American agent whom some in the program call unquote, Jimmy unquote. In 2004, Nelson said, unquote, at that time, no one had ever heard of James Bond. I was scratching my head wondering how to play it. I hadn't read the book or anything like that because it wasn't well known. Unquote. 11. Bond did not become well known in the U.S. until President John F. Kennedy listed From Russia, with Love among his 10 favorite books in a March 17, 1961, Life article. The program also featured Peter Lorre as Le Chiffre, the primary villain. Nelson later noted the opportunity to work with Lorre was the reason he took the role. Originally broadcast live, the production was believed lost until a kinescope emerged in the 1980s. It was released to home video and is currently available on DVD as a bonus feature with the 1967 film adaptation of the novel. During the 1959 television series, Nelson starred in 39 episodes of Hudson's Bay, playing Jonathan Banner. Nelson appeared as Grant Decker in unquote, Threat of Evil unquote, a 1960 episode of The DuPont Show with June Allison. His Additional television credits include guest appearances on Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Ben Casey, The Twilight Zone episode and Quat, Stopover in a Quiet Town and Quat Winking Face, Dr. Kildare, and in later years, playing a hobo on an episode of The Ropers. He appeared regularly on television in the 1960s, having been one of the What's My Line mystery guests and later serving as a guest panelist on that popular CBS quiz show. Nelson was also a semi-regular panelist on the daytime and nighttime versions of To Tell the Truth for 3 years of its run from 1962 to 1965, as well as a guest panelist a few times in 1967. Nelson appeared second most frequently on the daytime show in the 3 years he was a semi-regular. He hosted portions of the NBC radio program Monitor. Nelson appeared in both the stage and screen versions of Mary, Mary. He directed the 1968 play The Only Game in Town, as well as starring as Joe. In 1978, he was nominated for a Tony Award for Best Actor in a musical for his role as Dan Connors in the Broadway musical The Act, 1977, with Liza Minnelli. His final appearance on Broadway was as Julian Marsh in 42nd Street, 1986. And quote, "He was a very naturalistic, believable actor," and quote, said his agent, Francis Del Duca. And quote, "He was good at both comedy and the serious stuff." And quote, Nelson was married twice, first to actress Teresa Celli, from whom he was divorced in 1951, according to his New York Times obituary, and later to Nancy Lee, as a famous, and quote, Nancy and quote winking face, Hoy, to whom he was married until his death. Nelson and his second wife divided their time between homes in New York and France. Nelson died on April 7, 2007, while traveling in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, 9 days before his 90th birthday.